The whole time I didn't push the brake because I'm not that tall. So, well, I'm pretty tall, but I don't know. I had to like look over the steering wheel. Like I had to look obviously at the fucking what was going on. And I was trying to reach for the brake like while I had the steering wheel, but I just couldn't reach it. So I got to a point finally where I just said fuck it. And I smashed the brake with my hand and I just looked down. I didn't have sight of what was in front of me and I just saw darkness and I honestly didn't even know. So okay, well, recently, this is literally like a week ago. So on Friday of last week, my husband and I, we went to a J. Cole concert. And I asked him, so basically, let me just give you background. We were supposed to go to this J. Cole concert, and my best friend and her sister were also attending this concert. It's in Columbus. We live in Cleveland, so we're about 2 hours away. My husband has this whole thing where he literally falls asleep at the wheel when he's driving and he's tired, like when it's late. He will fall asleep at the wheel. I've never heard of that, like in real life, but apparently he calls it like road hypnosis or whatever, and it's a real thing according to him. I'm sure it is. Like, I'm not even gonna say it like that. Like, I'm sure it's real. But I've always been baffled by the fact that someone can literally be driving and just go, you know what? This seemed like a good time to take a nap. Like, no, that's never, like, that doesn't occur in my universe. Personally, that's not my journey. I just feel like me as an adult, I know my limit. I know when I'm like, you know what? This is it. I gotta pull up. I just can't do this. I've driven before to Chicago and back. I've stopped twice to get gas and food, not to nap or sleep, whatever. 5 hours is not big of a deal. My best friend, however, on the other hand, she's driven to New York, and she literally on the way back, she had to pull over and take a nap because she felt like it was getting really late. And, you know, she just felt like she was going to fall asleep at the road, which I get. Like, when you drive at nighttime, it's this total different energy. Each time I drove, it was during the daytime, so that does make a difference. But my husband does fall asleep at the road. So I asked my same best friend, I asked her, like, you know, hey, if you're going to the concert too, can we just, like, carpool or something? So I just wanted to carpool to the concert so that my husband could basically sleep as well as, because he had to work in the morning. So I'm just gonna call him Andrew from this point because y'all need to, like, know who he is. So I asked Andrew, my husband, like, is it okay for her to drive or we go with her? He's like, cool. So last minute, her parents decided to actually drive her there. So her parents decided to drive her last minute. So we just basically was like, you know what, okay, I guess, like, we'll drive. And I told him, like, you can drive there and I drive back. I was so dead set on driving back. Like, I was so dead set on driving back because I know that he, like, falls asleep at the freaking wheel. So, like, when we're about to leave, he goes, like, no, I had 2 cups of coffee. Don't worry about it, babe. I'm going to drive us back, which is really sweet because he knows, like, background. I have anxiety. I've been diagnosed for anxiety. Like, I've been on anxiety medication. I've done yoga. I've done everything to try to get rid of my anxiety. And when I tell you the highway and my anxiety are just, like, two opposites. Like, they just don't mix. It's water and oil. They're horrible together. So every time I drive on the highway, I get super bad anxiety. Like, I get sweats, my heart beats up, I can't think straight, and it's just, I just keep thinking about dying, which I'll do another video on why I feel like I once died on the highway in a previous life, because I have anxiety, but I don't get anxiety for driving ever, but when I get on that highway, it's just like, boom, I see my death. So that's really weird. So I don't drive on the highway unless I absolutely have to. Like, I literally have my GPS set on avoid highways at all times unless absolutely necessary. So he was just kind of very concerned about me. Like, he's my husband, he's supposed to be. So he was just kind of like, you know, no, I took a bunch of coffee, we're cool, I'm gonna drive back. So side note, before he even told me that, we're at the J. Cole concert and my husband has epilepsy. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I don't know how to pronounce it. But he has epilepsy. So we're at the concert. It's like 10 o'clock and he takes his medication. And I'm like, why are you just now taking it? He's like, oh, I'm just taking it. It's cool. It's not like it's late. And I was just like, aren't you supposed to take that at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Like, mind you, J. Cole's performing. And I'm like asking him, like, aren't you supposed to take that pretty sooner in the night? Like at the evening? Like, he's supposed to take his medication in the morning and in the evening. So epilepsy, if you guys don't know, that's when you have seizures. So if he don't take his medication in the morning and in the evening, he has seizures. So it's very important that he take his medication in the morning and in the evening, right? I'm putting it like this and like this because it's like it should be that easy. Morning, evening. He's very irresponsible. I love my husband, but dad, serious. Like, if I had a life-threatening disorder or disease, you could not get me to forget to take my medication as much as he forgets. Like, he forgets to take his medication. Like, he want to be out here. He want to be out there having seizures. So I was just kind of like irritated at that because I'm like, you know, we argue about this. Like, you have to be more responsible. Like, you just can't like you have to have an alarm set. You have to have a routine. You have to do something that's like, I'm going to remember to take my freaking medication when I need to. As his wife, it's also my responsibility to make sure he takes his as well. But I am not here to raise a man. Like, a side note, I don't believe that women needs to be sitting here like feeding a grown-ass man his medication. Like, what would you do if I was in here? You need to, because I feel like that's what his mom did. But that's a whole different story. Because I feel like what happens is that if you treat a man like a boy and you feed him his medication at the same time and you don't make him responsible for taking it when he needs to, he's not going to learn and he's going to just depend on you to do that, and this isn't what that is. So back to the story. He took his medication pretty late, which was a warning, number one. And then number two, he took like 2 cups of coffee, which was crazy to me. I'm like, why would you like do that? But okay. So he took 2 cups of coffee and we're driving. When I tell you, I was about to take a nap. Like I don't want to get my makeup water. Like, I don't want to get my makeup messed up. But I was about to take a nap because we were driving for like 15 minutes. We're on the highway. I like literally like just start to like lean back. You know, when you're in the car, you're like, okay, I'm about to take a nap, right? All of a sudden, I don't know who, I felt like, I said before, I felt like the car swerved or the car was swerving. I say that, but when I think about it, I go back to that moment. I didn't really feel the car swerving until it swerved and my eyes were open. So I don't know what encouraged me because I was really about to take a nap. Like, because I slept the whole way there. Like, I slept the whole 2 hours there. And I was going to sleep the whole 2 hours back. So I was getting ready to go into my deep slumber. And then all of a sudden, I just decided, like, you know, let me just look at the road. Like, I don't know. I really just don't know. I looked at the road and he was speeding into a semi-truck. Like, he was just, like, about to go dead into collusion into the semi-truck, like, just going, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what are, like, I yell, I'm like, Andrew, wake up, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm sorry for headphone users, but, like, that's how abrupt that was to me. I'm like, wake up. And so I realized, like, I didn't register, like, when I looked at him and I was like, you know, yo, you're about to, because when someone's about to hit something, your first instinct, I'll tell you right now, your first instinct is not to grab the wheel. It's to notify the person driving that they're about to fucking crash, and hopefully they can grab the wheel. Once I realized he was having a seizure at the wheel, like he's just like having a whole full-blown seizure, that's when I grabbed the wheel, and that's when I just started to yell and cry. I just literally started to beg God to stop this car and to get us. I don't even know what I was literally saying. Please, please wake up. Please, please wake up, Andrew. I was yelling his name. And I know I've experienced him having seizures. I know he can't wake up from a seizure. There's no one who's going to pull him out. You know, there's no way. But his foot was stuck on the gas. And I was begging for him to wake up so he could at least, like, come to. I had this vision. I kept having this vision when this was happening that he would come to and grab the wheel and pull over, or, you know, like, just be like, oh my God. And I don't know, but I just did not see me being able to stop that car. I grabbed the wheel and I swerved us past the semi-truck. I did not even look at the road next to us, which is like, we on a 3-part highway, 3 roads going this way. There could have easily been a car right there. And I think it was, because a car honked at me right as I did that, you know. So I'm praying that wasn't what it was, but I'm pretty sure I almost crashed into another car and they were able to swerve. And it's just like, it's so many mathematical reasons that probably could have not have happened. And thank God that it did. And so I swerved from the semi truck, and I started hearing a bunch of honking and, you know, stuff like that. And I'm just like, I have hold of the Royal, and I'm just literally screaming that he wakes up and that he gets his foot off the fucking gas. And I'm like just begging for him to wake up, and I don't know why, because like I said, I experienced him having seizures. There's no waking someone, there's no snapping someone out of a seizure. Like once they having it, they're gone. And I just remember thinking, I have to postpone this car from crashing as long as I can. We're gonna die, but I have to at least make the collision softer. You know, like just keep driving it until his foot, like I was trying to move his leg so that his foot wouldn't be on the gas so much, because I wanted to stop it. So I put the car in park thinking that maybe that would slow it down and that would, you know, stop it, whatever, I don't know. And so I'm just swerving it. I'm in the middle lane, and then I go and I'm like, you know, I have to get this car. But I'm sorry, my camera died. But I I pretty much had to steer the wheel from the right side of the road, or the left side, to, no, the right side of the road to the left side, and go through 2 lanes to get there. And not even the left line, the shoulder of the road. The reason I didn't want to pull over to the right, the reason I didn't immediately just pull the car over to the right, was because we were on top of this, what's a bridge. So I have this really big fear of throwing my car over a bridge, which, like I said, in another life, I'm pretty sure this happened in an alternative universe, and I died this way. Like, this was my death, and we probably went over a bridge. I probably started the car right, and that's how I died. And that's my alternative universe, because I swear to God, I've always had these fears, and they just came to life. Like, we were on the highway and I was gonna die, and I didn't want to go over a bridge. So I went to the left lane because I didn't want to do that. And the whole time I didn't push the brake because I'm not that tall. So, well, I'm pretty tall, but I don't know. I had to like look over the steering wheel. Like, I had to look obviously at the fucking what was going on. And I was trying to reach for the brake, like, while I had the steering wheel, but I just couldn't reach it. So I got to a point finally where I just said, fuck it. And I smashed the brake with my hand, and I just looked down. I didn't have sight of what was in front of me, and I just saw darkness. And I honestly didn't even know if I just pressed it lightly because I didn't know if that was the gas or the brake. So I pressed it lightly. It starts to slow down. I slammed that shit. And when I tell you, when that car stopped, like, I started screaming even louder. I was yelling already throughout this whole process, which makes me know that I was in true fear, because there was no one could save me. No one was there. No one was recording. But I was yelling so much just because I was afraid. I was just honestly in pure fear. So I was yelling. And when we stopped that car, I had a moment of silence, and I just broke down, and I just broke down in full-on tears. And I called the police because I didn't know who you call when your car stops on the highway because your husband had a seizure at the wheel. Like, who do you call, right? You call the police, because I wanted to make sure that he was okay as well. So I didn't really know if he hit his head on the well or anything. So I called the police, and I was hyperventilating because the woman on the phone, she told me, she's like, it's okay, you're alive, calm down, like, you're okay, you made it, you're alive. Because I just was crying so much. And she was like, where are you? And, you know, I was like, I don't know. And she's like, we have your location, which is really weird because police found me like that. Like in the middle of the highway, they found me. And she just was like, you know, this could be way worse. This could be way worse. You know, once I told her that my husband had a seizure at the road on the wheel on the highway, and I pulled us over and everything. And so she was just like, you know, this could be so much worse. We're sitting in a unit. We're going to send the paramedics, and you need AAA and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I cried on the phone. She told me she could stay on the phone with me, or that, you know, I could go. So I hung up and I called his mom because I wanted his mom to know, like, you know, her son had just almost died and had a seizure. So I called his mom first, actually. She didn't answer. She didn't answer a second time either. And so she actually forwarded me to voicemail. Like, they tell you when you call somebody, like, hey, this call has been forwarded to voicemail. So I get it was late, but if I call you twice and it's late, I mean, clearly, I don't call nobody that late just to say, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, I never do. So that was weird to me. But I called my best friend after. And I just called her crying, just freaking out because I just almost died. And it just occurred to me that, you know, that this was still happening, that he was still having, that he wasn't having a seizure, but he had passed out. We were still on the highway. Cars were passing us. I thought that I could get out the car and, like, you know, I don't know, like, drive us home, but I couldn't even get out the car. I was so terrified of all the cars passing us that, like, I had to have the cops arrive and I had to have them, like, come to my side of the door to open the door and escort me out because I was literally, I had an anxiety attack, I had a panic attack after I parked the car. And it just was a mess. So the paramedics came and they, like, put him, and they asked me, like, oh, what's your relation to him? And I'm like, that's my husband. And I know they always, like, look at me crazy because, like, they're like, oh, this white guy, that's your husband. Yeah, that's my husband. And so it was just really, really traumatizing because when he came to, he didn't remember anything. And that pissed me off because for me, I just feel like that's lucky. Like, I wish I didn't have to remember this. I really do. I don't want this memory. Like, I have nightmares. I cry. When I had to drive home, I was shaking the whole time. Like, I don't want to remember the fact that I was about to fall asleep and I wake up and my life is flashing before my eyes. Like, I don't want that memory of us about to die and I had to be the one to take control. Like, I wish I was in the back seat. I wish I had nothing to do with this. I wish I did not have to step up and save my own life. I looked at it as I should have never been put in that situation, should have never been in that predicament. And then the fact that he doesn't even realize, I feel like to this day he doesn't understand how serious he was. He doesn't understand that if I didn't drive that well, if I didn't take that well, like, who knows what we would have been. We would have been dead. That's what it would have been. I know that. I would have been dead. Because did you know that passenger seats are not as protected, secure, and like their airbag isn't as safe as the driver's? Did you know that? Okay, so he probably would have made it, but I would have been dead. I wasn't cool with that. So I ended up once the cop, so the cops, you know, they took him to the paramedics. They questioned me a million questions. Where are we coming from? Where are we going? You know, where do we live? All the stuff, like we're criminals. And so after that, our car actually wouldn't start for about an hour because I don't know what I did to it. I guess, like, I broke the battery when I, like, parked. You know, I put it in park and then it was on the highway going like 70 and I put it in park. So yeah, that's what happened. So you tell me what was wrong with the car because I don't know, but it wouldn't start. And the cop had to literally give us one of those jumps. So they had to jump our car for our engine to start, which they didn't have to do. Like, they're not AAA. So my husband, he came too. We tried to call AAA because our car wouldn't start, just to realize that our AAA had actually expired and he never renewed it. He sat there for like 20 minutes trying to, like, you know, talk to them about renewing his membership while I literally just cried hysterically. I cried so much. Like, what I went through, I've been traumatized. Like, I was extremely traumatized in that moment. Like, I still didn't think it was over. I still felt like we could still die. I didn't feel like I was home and safe and sound and like this was over. I still feel like I was living through the horror of what I just lived through. Like, it just still didn't register right. It wasn't okay. Like, I wasn't content with, oh, I'm here and I'm alive. Like, I was still confused why it happened and how quick it happened, and just fascinated that I knew what to do and that I actually did it and that it worked out. And I don't know, it's so hard for me to walk. I don't understand the point of that. My sister asked me the other day, she was like, what do you think that happened for her? Like, you know, you almost lost your life. Why do you think that happened? And honestly, I honestly don't know. Like, I thought once I was leaving, like, we went to J. Cole, and anyone who saw the Dreamville, not Dreamville, but KOD tour, he does this segment, and he's like, you know, saying about how you have to work hard to get what you want, to get success. You have to work hard. There's no such thing as overnight success. People who, you know, have overnight success, you just didn't see the work that they put in before that, or it's not real success. It's very limited. There's no foundation to stand on, so it's going to crumble, which is all true. And I just felt so inspired doing that speech. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take YouTube seriously. I'm going to upload every week. I'm going to put in the hard work to get success. Like, this is what I really want to do. This is what I feel like I could be successful doing. And I enjoy doing. And it's just kind of like, I really was like, you know, I was BSing before. I've been on YouTube for a year. And I just felt like I have like maybe 25 videos, which means that, girl, you didn't upload every day. You didn't upload once a week, you know, not maybe even 25. So I have maybe 25 videos. I have a good amount of videos, but I just felt like I didn't do what I told myself I was going to do when I started my channel. I let real life get in the way. And honestly, I just didn't balance. I didn't, you know, multitask. I did not schedule and keep myself consistent. I did not do what I needed to do. And I'm able to take responsibility for that. And at the concert, I just feel so inspired and spoken to, like, yeah, this is true. This is facts. And I'm going to be a YouTuber. And I'm going to be a successful one. And it's going to pop off. And so I don't know if that death-related experience is like, I don't think that I need, like, if I already had that realization, I don't think I need to almost die to realize, like, maybe that death is telling me that I'm not supposed to be a YouTuber, that that's not what I want to do in my life. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't know why people have nerd death, and I don't feel like it was my fault to have the nerd death. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. Like, do you guys even believe in stuff like that? I really do. I'm a very spiritual person. I really do believe in, like, you know, things happening for a reason, karma, the energy of the universe. Like, yes, the universe has its own energy, and I believe that you get what you get back from it, what you put into it. And I just can't wrap my head around, like, what I've learned, whatever lesson. I don't know. I don't really know. I think that that's problematic that, you know, I don't know. So yeah, after everything, I did end up driving home after the cop came back, the same cop who came through. He came back, helped us start my car, and then I drove 2 hours home, exhausted, after crying. Do you know how once you cry, you get those bags, you be ready for a nap. Like, after you cry, you want a good nap. Naps after crying be banging. They be good naps too. And that's all. I was like so exhausted. And honestly, I felt for a second, I was like, shit, I might fall asleep at the wheel. Like, this is some real shit. And I obviously did not. And I thought about pulling over, going to sleep, but I was so ready to go home that I was like, no, I'm going home. Like, I'm not getting a hotel. I'm not pulling over. I want to be home. I want this to be over. Because I thought once I got home, it would be over. Once I got home, it was still haunting me. I didn't go to sleep for like 3 hours after, maybe even 4. Just talking to my sister and talking to everyone. And just thinking about, like, why? Just the images in my head of almost running into that semi-truck and just all the cars passing us honking and just doing 80 on the highway with somebody at the wheel having a seizure. Casual. It makes me very upset that this happened to me. Like, I know I shouldn't be upset. I sound very ungrateful. I should be very, like, relishing in the fact that I'm alive. But I don't feel like it was justified for me to almost not be. It's such a weird feeling to have. That's so weird. But yes, that's how I feel. Alright, well, this is my story time. That's the story of how my husband had a seizure at the well. And like I said, he didn't really remember. He still doesn't remember what happened for him, he just remembered driving, and then he remembered the paramedic and the police knocking at our window, asking him about his name and everything else. So he's blessed that he doesn't have these memories, which is why he's not here to share with me the story time. But me, on the other hand, traumatized AF, just confused, trying to figure it all out. And I get really emotional because the images, it was really the feeling that I had in that moment when like I wasn't ready to die. And I'm not scared of death. I'm really not. Like, I've always told my husband, like, I'd do anything because I feel like if I die, I'm just meant to die. And I just feel like that wasn't it. And I think that's why I'm so upset. That's why I'm so upset. Because I know, like, I'm not afraid of death, but I ain't supposed to die yet. I do what I was supposed to do. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to do. Maybe that's it. That's the key, is that I am supposed to be motivated to start doing what I'm supposed to do, so that if I die, at least I've done what I'm supposed to do. Well, I don't even know what that is. So, damn. Alright, guys. Thanks for joining me in my story time. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys feel, and if anybody has ever experienced a near-death experience as well. I do hit people back up. If you comment, I will comment you back, and we will have a whole conversation. Like, guys, I swear, I am always on my phone, so if you talk to me, it's not even like leaving a comment, it's starting a discussion, because honestly, we're gonna end up in a whole conversation. So have a conversation with me down in the comments, and like just bounce off what you think this is. And I don't really know, but like, let's talk about it. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me in my TED Talk. Peace be.